Many of us have a spare room that we use as a dumping ground for objects that do not have a designated space. Old boxes of clothes, toys that your children have outgrown, exercise equipment that we're clearly not using enough. And then Monu Chacha comes once a year to visit and we have to quickly turn this into a guest bedroom. I'm here to help introduce a little method into all this madness. You need a clean slate to start. So first begin by emptying the room, packing away things that are not used often, and donating or selling anything that you don't use anymore. Yes, this goes for those jeans that you've been telling yourself you're going to fit into for the past 3 years. The one mistake that people make is buying furniture without checking if it fits. Well, this measuring tape is having some erectile dysfunction issues, but do not even reach for your debit card without measuring everything. And there are many apps online that can help you arrange your furniture in that space, or you could try the old-fashioned way and draw out chalk markings on the floor itself. The first thing I would recommend is to buy a sofa-cum-bed. This is a smart investment for Indian homes that don't have a lot of space, especially if you opt for one that has a magic quality that we all love: storage. For people who are new to the world of interior design, it's best to stick to a neutral palette for your main upholstery. Black, grey, brown, cream, all of these work well, but the darker colors hide dirty feet and stains left behind by sticky fingers. To introduce color and texture, you can add a lot of cushions and throws. There are no rules on how you should arrange your pillows. I mean, there are some people who think it's really nice to keep it like this and hide their stomach. But I think that it's best to arrange them in groups of 3 or 5, and here we have 7, so basically odd numbers. You can vary sizes and shapes once you have a little more confidence, but remember to stick to the same color palette through the entire room. These side tables are not the same height, but by stacking items on top of it, you can trick the eye into thinking they're symmetrical. A secret tweak that most interior decorators love is layering textures. I wanted to introduce some natural elements into this space, so I bought these colorful jute baskets online. They're quite popular at the moment and fairly inexpensive. If you can hammer a few nails into the wall, make sure to do it in such a way that you're spacing out the nails so you can keep changing up the art. Since most of us are still working from home, you could use this room as your workspace as well. I like to have little pops of green throughout the house, so I simply took a cutting of my money plant and popped it into this vase. It's a good way to upcycle and reuse what you have lying around the house, and money plants will grow without soil, so you don't have to worry about creating a mess. Adding a scented candle is the easiest way to make a space feel truly luxurious. The Spice Market candle from the Faraway Tree. This is one of my favorites. It smells of cinnamon and cardamom and cloves, and it kind of reminds me of early mornings when I would sit with my grandmother and she would sit on our staircase and have a masala chai, and I think it's a bit of nostalgia, but it does smell amazing. Make sure that you never leave a candle unattended, especially if you have kids and pets. Trim the wick before you light it and keep it away from walls, otherwise you'll have some big black stains on your walls and then you'll blame me. So remember that. Now that you've created this beautiful space, what kind of books should you keep in it for your guests? Well, don't keep anything that they're tempted to carry away with them. So keep books that are easy to read and you can, pick them up, read a little bit, leave them. Now, these are the 3 that I would recommend. Neil Gaiman's Art Matters. There's a wonderful line in it that you have to be a sort of person where either you're a genius and then you have a nasty personality and people tolerate you, or you're somebody who just diligently works. You're not a genius, but you're good enough at your job and you're pleasant to work with and then you get work. Or on the other hand, you are not a genius and you're not pleasant to work with and no one will work with you. So this is a lesson I learned and I think I'm trying the middle path. In Other Rooms, Other Wonders is one of my favorite books. I keep rereading stories from this book and there's a nice mix of culture and I think it feels very close to my background and the way I grew up. I don't really read self-help books, but Ikigai makes me feel, peaceful and gives me a little bit of perspective, especially when I'm bogged down with a lot of things going on at the same time. And so I would place these 3 books in my guest room, and if a guest did take them, I would never invite them again. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like and leave comments on Tweak India's YouTube channel. See you soon.